British lawmaker wants King Charles to cancel his U.S. trip over Iran war. What if the King of England was told, don't go? Imagine this. Air Force One is already in the air. Missiles are flying over the Middle East. And back in London, a British lawmaker is standing at a podium, looking straight into the cameras, and saying the unthinkable, King Charles should stay home. Not because he's sick, not because of a scheduling conflict, but because the world may be on the brink of war, and one member of parliament believes the monarch's visit to America could send exactly the wrong message at exactly the wrong moment. Stay with us. Because what's unfolding right now is bigger than a royal visit. This is about diplomacy, danger, and a king caught between duty and global chaos. Welcome back, Royal Watchers. You're tuned into Royal Juice, the channel where we bring you the freshest, most compelling stories from inside the world's most famous family. If you're new here, welcome to the family. Hit that subscribe button right now and ring that notification bell so you never miss a royal update. We drop new content every week and trust us, you do not want to miss what's coming. Now, let's get into it. For months, the royal calendar has had one major international event circled in red ink: King Charles III's highly anticipated visit to the United States of America. The trip was being touted as a landmark moment, a powerful symbol of the so-called special relationship between Britain and America. There were whispers of a White House address, speculation about a speech before Congress, photo opportunities, state dinners, the works. For a king who has worked tirelessly to step out from the long shadow of his mother, Queen Elizabeth II, this was shaping up to be a defining moment on the world stage. But then, the world changed. Tensions between the United States and Iran exploded into something nobody could ignore. Reports of military strikes, retaliatory threats, and diplomatic breakdowns began flooding the newswires. The Middle East, already a powder keg, was suddenly on fire, and the flames were threatening to spread. And in Westminster, politicians were watching, listening, and one of them decided to speak up. A British member of parliament, deeply concerned about the timing of the royal trip, stood up and made a bold, unprecedented demand: King Charles should cancel his visit to the United States. Now let's be clear, this isn't just anyone making noise. This is an elected official, a representative of the British people, raising what they believe is a matter of national and international importance. The argument, simple but powerful: at a time when America is either already engaged in, or dangerously close to, military conflict with Iran, a state visit by the British monarch could be seen as an implicit endorsement of U.S. military policy. It could drag Britain into a geopolitical narrative it hasn't officially signed up for. It could compromise the UK's ability to act as a neutral diplomatic voice in any future peace negotiations. And perhaps most critically, it could put the king himself in an impossible position. Think about it. If King Charles lands in Washington while American bombs are falling on Iranian soil, what does that image say to the world? What does it say to Britain's Muslim communities at home? What does it say to the dozens of Commonwealth nations watching nervously from the sidelines? The lawmaker's message was clear: the optics alone could be catastrophic. Now here's where it gets really interesting, because Buckingham Palace is in an extraordinarily delicate position. On one hand, the monarchy has always prided itself on being above politics. The king doesn't start wars. The king doesn't take sides. The king is a unifying symbol, for Britain, for the Commonwealth, for the world. But here's the uncomfortable truth: a state visit is inherently political. You don't fly the King of England to Washington for tea and biscuits. These trips are carefully choreographed diplomatic statements. Every handshake, every speech, every moment captured on camera carries weight. And in the middle of a potential war, that weight becomes enormous. There's also the question of Charles himself. This is a king who has spent decades advocating for peace, dialogue, and environmental cooperation. He has spoken about the importance of diplomacy over conflict. He has cultivated relationships across the Muslim world. A trip to Washington right now, right in the middle of an Iran crisis, could feel deeply contradictory to everything he stands for. So what does the palace do? Did they bow to political pressure and cancel? Did they risk the optics and press ahead? Or did they try to thread the needle, quietly scaling back the visit without officially acknowledging the controversy? What this story really reveals is something much deeper than a royal scheduling headache. It shows us how fragile the line is between ceremonial monarchy and real-world politics. It shows us how quickly the world can shift, and how even the most carefully planned royal engagements can be overtaken by events no one predicted. And it raises a question that has been simmering for years: In the 21st century, what is the role of the British monarchy on the global stage? King Charles has never shied away from wanting to be relevant. He wants the crown to matter. He wants to use his platform for good. But moments like this are the test, because being relevant means navigating the messiest, most unpredictable corners of global affairs. The Iran crisis didn't ask for permission before erupting. The world doesn't pause for royal visits. And one British lawmaker has decided that somebody needs to say that out loud. So here's the big question we'll be watching very closely. Will King Charles go to America, or won't he? Will the palace listen to this MP's warning? Will cooler heads prevail in Washington? Or will the visit go ahead as planned, consequences be what they may? We will be tracking every development right here on Royal Juice, and you are going to want to be here when the news breaks. If you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button, drop a like on this video, and let us know in the comments below, do you think King Charles should cancel the trip? We read every single comment. This is your channel, and we'll see you in the next one. God save the king, and stay juicy.